Practicing past exam questions can really boost your chances of passing the ACCA exams. This recording is going to give you some tips on how to maximize the value you get out of question practice by effectively debriefing your answers. We're going to start with the benefits of self-marking before looking at calculation and written questions using the practice platform software. Benefits of self-marking, first of all, helps you to humanize the marker, make them real, make them a person. They're not a machine, and we're trying to think about their needs, trying to make their life easy, because if you make it easy for them to mark your script, they'll give you more marks. Understanding the examiner, seeing their model answers and looking at the way they design exam questions can help us to design our answers to score marks. And hopefully, through doing self-marking, you'll start to change the way you present your answers to make them more user-friendly, easier to review and easier to mark. Calculation questions, first of all. Two things I'm doing when I'm looking at my answer. I'm firstly auditing it in detail and looking for where I've made mistakes. Are there any technical areas that I need to address? Or have I made a silly mistake somewhere? And can I apply the own figure rule easily? That means if I make a mistake somewhere early in the calculation, can the marker follow what I've done so that I can be awarded follow-through marks? Here's a PM past exam question. If I want to save the suggested solution, I can click in here, press Control P and print it as a PDF. So I've got a copy for my own records. Auditing my answer, I can see that my shortfall does not match the shortfall in the answer. So something's gone wrong. I can see that these numbers are correct. And it's here, within demand, that 8,900, I've made a transposition error. And it's a silly mistake. Have I made my numbers easy to follow from there? Well, these are pretty simple and easy to follow, timesing one number by another. But when I get down here, I've done a sum of these numbers and added another number in, this 5,000. Now, that's a correct thing to have done. That's the right thing to have done. But by adding multiple things within the same cell, it makes it difficult for the marker to follow what I've done if I've made a mistake somewhere. So it would have been better to present that 5,000 separately so that the marker could see it individually and not have to click into my cell to see the answer. I can also see that I've answered the shortage of Bella part of the question, but there are two further bits here, step 2 and step 3, that I haven't done. And if I look at the question stem, I can see that these were clear. I did that bit calculating the shortage, but I didn't do steps 2 and 3. So note to self, make your calculations easier to follow by separating out the steps, and make sure you answer all parts of the requirement. Let's now focus on written requirements. I'm looking for, have I answered all parts of the question? We saw there in that calculation question that there were several parts, making sure that I've answered every single bit of the question. Have I written enough given the verb in the requirement? If it's a verb like list or state, I only need a couple of words per sentence to make the point. But if it's explain, clarify, discuss, then I'm going to need a couple of full sentences to really do it justice. Is my answer clear and easy to review? Really good test for this is to leave a gap after having answered the question before you review your written answer. Can you understand what it is that you wrote? If you can't understand it, what chance does a marker have? Here's a question from the PM exam that I've already written an answer for. The question is to discuss whether this company should breach an agreement with an organisation called Encompass Health. And the suggested solution is showing here. And the marking scheme is telling me that it's there's 4 marks available, 1 for each valid point. I can already see in my answer that I've only written 3 points, so I've probably not got enough here. Pause the recording if you want to have a detailed read of my answer. But I've tried to show some good and bad practice. That first point there is really easy to read and review. The things that make it easy to read and review are the sentences are short, and it starts with something that tells you what the point is about. This one's about exit costs. Compare that to this point here, which is long and waffly. I read through it and I'm not sure if I can really understand what it's talking about. I'm much more going for the style of the first point or the third point, short and sharp. Thanks for watching this recording. I hope you found it useful and you'll be doing more thorough debriefs of your own answers in future.